So apparently, the Fever just leaked their starting five. According to this graphic right here.
The Indiana Fever may have just flipped the WNBA on its head after a major starting five leak that's got everyone buzzing. Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Dana Bonner, Natasha Howard, and Aliyah Boston. Yes, that's the projected lineup. We're talking 5 All-Stars here, the past 2 Rookie of the Year winners, and 3 players on max contracts all sharing the court. And trust me, we're just getting started. Stick around, because we're diving into all the different lineup combos the Fever could use and why every other team should be watching closely. This squad doesn't just have 5 stars, they got 9 players who could legitimately start depending on the matchup. And later on, Stephanie White reveals the type of offense she plans to run to manage all this talent.
This is apparently what it's going to be. Caitlin Clark at the 1, Kelsey Mitchell at the 2, DeWanna Bonner at the 3, Natasha Howard at the 4, and Aliyah Boston at the 5. Obvious.
So what does this monster of a lineup mean for the rest of the WNBA? And how will chemistry develop when you've got this much talent in one locker room? Believe it or not, the real headline might be Sophie Cunningham's unexpected reaction to her new role, one that signals this team might finally have cracked the championship code. But first, let's break down what makes this particular 5 so unique.
In order for the Fever to achieve the goals that they have in front of them, everyone is going to need to buy into their role, and it's up to Stephanie White to put the best lineups out there, the best lineup combinations, and all of that. I took a stab at projecting what the starting 5 will be, and it's, not a huge leap, but obviously Caitlin Clark's going to be the point.
It all starts with Caitlin Clark, the generational player whose vision and unlimited shooting range are already reshaping how the game is played. She sees passing lanes before they even open, and people say she needs to be guarded the moment she enters the gym.
And you talk about players that change the game when they're on the court, whether they're touching the ball or not, you have to guard her when she steps into the gym. And so I don't think we've seen anything like that in women's basketball. I've played against a number of great shooters.
Yes.
Somebody that when they walk in the gym, you have to guard them. And I think the way the game is played has allowed her to showcase that skill, to be able to take that shot. That shot's being a good shot. It speaks to where basketball is right now.
Then we got Dana Bonner bringing championship experience and length at 6'4". That makes her a walking matchup nightmare on offense and defense at.
Kelsey Mitchell, the shooting guard, the most potent backcourt in the WNBA. I think DeWanna Bonner will be the Swiss Army knife kind of player at the 3.
This lineup works like a symphony. Every player complements the others. The floor spacing will be a nightmare for opposing defenses. Try doubling Clark. Mitchell will make you pay. Focus on the perimeter. Boston goes to work inside, collapse on the inside. Clark, Mitchell, Howard, and Bonner can all hit threes. The blend of scoring, playmaking, and defense makes this starting 5 nearly impossible to guard straight up.
Howard fills that hole that they had at power forward, especially they were lacking somebody who could run the floor, catch, and finish. Aliyah Boston is the center who doesn't hunt for shots but can be a key cog on both ends.
And let's not overlook the budding connection between Clark and Boston. These two could become the WNBA's most dangerous young duo. Boston screens and rim rolls combined with Clark's laser-guided passes. That's a highlight reel waiting to happen. Their chemistry is only going to grow, and they've already got the tools to be one of the best tandems we've seen in years. Don't take it from me, even Stephanie White is singing their praises, already calling them a future all-time duo.
To load up on Kelsey Mitchell last year because Caitlin Clark was there. And when Kelsey's able to get out in transition, she's so fast. And when she's able to take you one-on-one, there ain't much you can do.
Together, this group of 5 brings over 80 points per game from last season, with Clark orchestrating the offense. Expect everyone's efficiency to rise. The Las Vegas Aces and New York Liberty should take note. The A's smaller lineup may get punished inside, and the Liberty's defensive rotations will be stretched trying to cover all 5 weapons. That isn't a build for the future team anymore. The Fever are trying to win right now.
Think about the great point guards and post players that our game, not just our league, but our game has seen. They are going to go as the greatest. And I'm excited about the opportunity to work with them. I'm excited about the opportunity that we have to build from those starting points and build out, and for the longevity that those two could have in Indiana, in Indianapolis, and hanging banners in this.
But don't sleep on what might be Indiana's biggest X factors. Sophie Cunningham and Lexa Hull. Sophie's response to coming off the bench: pure class, no ego, no frustration, just excitement to support Clark and contribute however she can. That's not just rare in professional sports, it's nearly unheard of.
Cunningham, the first player off the bench to provide lineup versatility and shooting. Either way, there are a lot of options.
Think about it, how many times have we seen veterans fight against a bench role? Allen Iverson refused it with Memphis and walked away from the game. Carmelo Anthony clashed with the Rockets, and his role didn't match his expectations. In contrast, Cunningham's complete buy-in to be the culture glue that holds this team together. It's a sacrifice that may end up being the key to their success.
So I saw Sophie Cunningham talk about how she is thrilled to join a supporting role next to Caitlin Clark, and that she's playing on a stacked Fever squad.
Championship caliber teams are built on more than just talent. They're fueled by players who fully embrace their roles, and that's exactly what makes Sophie Cunningham so valuable to the Indiana Fever. Her unselfish mindset signals a major cultural shift happening in Indiana, one where personal stats take a backseat to team success. It's the kind of attitude head coach Stephanie White needs to take this collection of stars and mold them into a true title contender. Cunningham's ability to guard multiple positions, shoot from deep, and bring relentless energy off the bench gives Indiana an edge most teams don't have. As the projected sixth woman, she brings the kind of skill that could easily be starting on other teams, but instead of pushing for the spotlight, she's laser focused on what helps the Fever win. That kind of self-awareness and maturity is rare and essential for any team with championship aspirations.
Sophie Cunningham, who I mentioned before, who I do think will be the first player off the bench because of all of the things she can bring to the team, where they can go small with her and spread the floor. I mean, you can go real. You could play Howard at center and Cunningham at the 4, something like that. Really space the floor out and give teams a different look. She can play a traditional spot on the wing, of course, and she has a little bit more, I think they're listed at the same height, but she has a little bit more length and size, I believe, than Lexi Hull. And that's, another shooter out on them. And then there's Lexi Hull, who was relied upon a little bit too much a season ago. Lexi's a little undersized to guard some of the players that she had to guard and would get in foul trouble. And when she got in foul trouble, it was really debilitating for the team. Now I think she can bring that energy all the time and not have to worry about the foul trouble because of the lineup versatility that they have. For Lexi, the key is, can she continue to hit at the clip from 3 that she did the second half of last season? And she's got to get better at finishing around the cup. I mean, that's an area of, I think we've seen a lot of Brianna Turner working out with the team. I think her ability to set screens, hopefully catch and finish, could give her some minutes, because Aaliyah Boston really the only kind of what you would consider a center on the squad at this moment. Olsen maybe plays a little bit more than we figured because Clark will get spelled a bit more often this season, I would imagine. I also could see some Clark Colson 2-guard lineups out there at times to let Clark play off the ball a little bit more, to let Colson apply defensive pressure. See Clark in motion more this year to free her up for cleaner looks. Clark's 3-point percentage was not probably where it needed to be. I think one way to get that up is to get her cleaner looks off the ball at times, though she should still have the ball the lion's share of the time. What they really did do is add those rim runners around.
I also want our players to use their instincts and to play free. We want to make plays, not run plays, right? We want to have sets that give us certain spacing that we want, depending upon our rotations, who's on the floor, who we want to attack, what matchups we want to get to, how can we manipulate them. So we'll have certain play calls that just give us space to operate, and then whichever play we make, whichever pass we make, determines one of 3 actions that our players can read from. And so really giving them the freedom to play within.
And of course, when you have more weapons, a lot of people are worried. I don't think they have players who need the ball to score, but they have more players who can score, which is going to make it tougher to load up. It was already tougher to load up on Kelsey Mitchell last year because Caitlin Clark was there. And when Kelsey's able to get out in transition, she's so fast. And when she's able to take you one-on-one, there ain't much you can do. And then Clark, the same thing. What are you going to do now? You're going to have to pick your poison, because you're going to send the whole defense at her again. Well, she's going to pick you apart. They have 5 players who were in the top 30 in scoring. Really needed last year. They got killed on the boards at times. They got killed defensively at times. They lacked a little bit of toughness. And I think, collectively, the new players fill that mold. I mean, they got players that have been around the block. Sophie is tough and tenacious. You know that DeWanna Bonner has been in every situation imaginable, right? So all of that is huge. Same with Howard. You know, that experience. That's something Sydney Colson talked about, who also has the experience. Everybody that's coming in is having the experience, and it's not often you see such a